Okay, first I'd say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shim Yahushai Bashim Gakudash. I'll give the abundance of apostles, teachers, great millstone for my learned truth. Now I'll say shalom to the whole collective Israel. And the recent talk about so-called so-called illegal immigrants has been flaring back up. Has been pushed more in the news and media from what I've seen. It's always been topic, but you know how they push certain things in the forefront, and after a certain amount of time they pull it back. But regardless, it's still there. But you have a lot of Americans that are upset that so-called illegal immigrants are coming back into America. And when I mean back, when you go into history, look up something called the Native American Removal Act. This is something that Esau, a so-called white man, has done. Well, I want to say it's a part of his calling card. Besides, the bloodshed. I'm gonna take it then by violence. There's John. I think it's in 11. Here's Micah 2:2. 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even man and his heritage. And prime examples, so-called Native American Indians, right? They had those. I forgot what they called them. I don't think they called them boarding schools, but it was something along the lines of that where, what was it, John cometh not, where they re-educated Native American Indians in the likeness of the Edomite image, a hair slicked back, wearing a suit and tie, taking Native American Gadite children from their parents and giving them a foster family. And there are actual videos on YouTube of Israelite Gadites who went through this. And they'll tell you, yeah, some breakdown and crying and whatnot, but they'll tell you the type of shit that they went through, And I think there's the name of his book. It's either a saying or a name of a book. Kill the Indian, save the man. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. Destroy the customs that they know, their language, and assimilate them into the Edomite culture. And that's what so-called white man has done all over the earth. What, coveting fields and taking them by violence. That's what he's done. Going to America, the Native Americans, I forgot, I think it was somewhere in second Esdras, how some of the Israelite tribes that came out of the Assyrian captivity and traveled by way of ship to the Americas, to a land that no man dwelt before. The scripture goes like that. But what that meant, back then, this land, America, wasn't, discovered. That's why you had these great kingdoms and conquerors. They conquered the known world, not the entire world. They conquered what they knew as the world. But you had this land, which is America, because a lot of our history takes place in the East. You had to get over here by boat, by ship, and the land gave, paved, and the Lord paved the way for King Solomon sent Jake over here, to gather resources and whatnot. But says that in the scriptures. I think it's First or Second Samuel, or maybe Kings. But yeah. So there are Israelite tribes, the America's Seminole Indians, the Latin tribes are over here first. But what did Cristobal Colon, what did Spaniards do? They came over here. They slaughtered the Latin tribes, put them into captivity. Cristobal Colon, what you people call Christopher Columbus, he came over here, slaughtered the Native American Indians and other, because like I want to say other native tribes. I think that's the correct way to say that. But he came over here and slaughtered them, put them into slavery, and they brought Jake over here en masse and put our people into slavery. So the point I'm getting is what, and even when you go into older maps, I think if I'm remembering correctly, the entire lower half of northern United States is known as Mexico. In other words, a lot of you, and there's also this video of this Amalekite woman. There's this guy that was talking, he was in Israel. He was going around asking people, the Amalekites that were there, like, hey, do you know this land doesn't belong to you? And there's this one woman that says, but it's our land now, and we're not leaving. So that's the spirit of Esau, you know? It's John 10:10. A thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. I don't come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. And Esau, you have Jake that go after the same way of Esau, but Esau the chief thief. And what when he came over here, that's all he did. He stole, he killed, and he destroyed the land and the people. So you have a lot of Americans that are upset that what they call illegal immigrants, they're not illegal. Let me read the definition of legal immigrant. Legal immigrants are foreign-born people legally admitted to the U.S. Undocumented immigrants, also called illegal aliens, are foreign-born people who do not possess a valid visa or other immigration documentation because they entered the U.S. without inspection, stay longer than a temporary visa permitted. But I bring this up because what? A lot of you Americans are angry that the native tribes are coming back over here, but this was originally their land. Your ancestors, one of the brothers brought out last week at camp, how the peace that you Americans have today, it was acquired through the bloodshed and the complete torture. Look up something called Pair of Anguish of our people. You know, the peace that you people enjoy today, the reason that you get to sit back, you show out of shape McDonald's beer chugging, pothead, weed smoking asses that you get to kick back on your lazy boy couch and watch your favorite fucking celebrity jump around as a court jester on TV. The reason that you have that TV, that you have satellite internet, that you have all these conveniences is because our people's blood was spilt. Not only was our people's blood was spilt, but our people were worked literally to the point of death to provide. And like what? Okay. And they were worked literally to the point of death to provide the things. And I was about to say, you have a lot of buildings that are built on Native American grave sites. You know? The expedition of the industry of this country was on the backs and the blood and sweat and bones and spirits of our people. And you Americans have some gall to sit there and call the people that are originally here. And like what proof of that is look up the Native American Removal Act. The Indian killer himself, Andrew Jackson, put forth a decree to move Native Americans from land that was originally theirs. And a lot of you pieces of shit try to say that the Native Americans sold their land. Bullshit. That doesn't change the fact that this is still their fucking land. And like what? All of them didn't sell their land. Like I have to look into it, but from what I remember, you had like you've had different tribes of Native Americans working with Esau, but that doesn't mean that didn't give them the right to just fucking annex the entirety of the Israelite land. Just like how you have Jake today cooning for the so-called white man, you always had Israelites that have been in bed with the enemy. But once again, that didn't give you so-called white people the fucking right to just to just take everything. Not only did you take a land that was fruitful, but you fucking destroyed it. But once again, this like by right through the Lord, like you have this bullshit called the highest law of the land or the highest court of the land. America's full of shit. The Lord's law is the highest law of the land. His law presides over everything. His word presides over everything and controls everything. But that's the truth. And it doesn't matter if you don't like it. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it. The beautiful thing about the truth is that it doesn't require anyone to believe it to be the truth for it to still be valid. Fire will burn you. If you have a group of fucking retards that say fire won't burn you, then they jump in the volcano. What's going to happen? They're going to end up getting they're going to end up getting burnt to death. That's a truth that no matter who, it doesn't matter what your personal opinion is. The truth it's still the truth. But once again, a lot of you pieces of shit fucking Americans have a problem with the people who were originally on this land coming back to their land after getting kicked out of their land. And this is another reason why America is going down the fucking drain. Because a lot of you people, you hate the truth. You hate what's right. You hate what's fair. Especially you Edomites. You fuckers are brazen to sit here and call America your land, the home, the brave, the free, and whatever, in spite of its bloody history and what's still going on today. I mean, like what? One of the point of war is to bring peace. For example, Yahweh Shai is going to bring war, but why? Because he's going to have to destroy and then recreate and bring peace. America is not a peaceful place. With all the wars that you might have been through, with all the fucking world wars, maybe skirmishes, bombing villages, poisoning people, peace is still not in sight. You niggas should not be in power. You're the wrong people to be in power. And right now, like the reason why I stopped, I stopped a couple minutes ago because I'm here at the laundromat, and I just saw a transformer like getting the dude's car like right next to me. Everything is twisted and fucked up, and that goes back into the fact of how you Americans really think that it's wrong, to call to illegal aliens or illegal immigrants. Personally, people I know, I've sat there and I told them and I showed them this land was originally theirs. They didn't give a fuck. You Americans don't believe in what's right. You're going to keep doing the wrong thing until it turns out right. The irony in that is it's not going to turn out right. That's one of the reasons why the Heavenly Father has to purge you all, because your minds are messed up. Once again, that's another indication that the so-called white man should not be in power. Because like what, you literally had a man, like you already know how that goes. That's twisted. But that was pretty much it. Not gonna rant or anything. But I literally just started a video of the brother going into how not all so-called illegal immigrants or migrants are gangbangers, criminals, and that's what sparked this. But yeah, this land was originally belong to the people who you people call illegal immigrants. Well, you own the land now. Well, guess what? The Lord's he's gonna right that wrong. You know, he's gonna right the wrong of you people who like to call the people who were pushed, forced off of their own land. Like, imagine that. Imagine somebody coming in. You have something called squatters' rights. Imagine somebody busting down your door and kicking your ass out on the street. And then you go into the cops and they just say, that's their house now. Imagine how fucked up you feel after all the work you put in. You may have a gold fucking toilet that gives your ass a fresh splash of water when you're done. Imagine somebody else beating your ass, kicking you out. Imagine how fucked up you would feel. That's how our people feel daily. Even 2/3 of our people who may not know everything, they're still crying out in their spirit as wicked and fucked up as they are. But that's pretty much it. Hope is edifying. So y'all praise this glory down to Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shem Gakodash. Double on to apostle and teacher, great middle, follow the true, showing to hopefully like the vision instruction, Babylon, Great American.